I'm attorney Gregory Dell, and I'm joined today by attorney Rachel Alters, and we're going to discuss long-term disability claims and realtors. And the realtor occupation is very unique, Rachel, as you know from personal experience and having used realtors and obviously representing a lot of realtors who are usually associated with big brokerage houses that they sell, whether you're a salesperson or the broker. This video will apply to you, and we're going to talk about some things to expect in a long-term disability claim. But getting right into it, Rachel, the definition of occupation is unique for realtors. And how do you see that? How does a realtor define what their occupational duties are?
Right. Well, a realtor has a vast array of occupational duties because their jobs sometimes can be sedentary because they'll be sitting at a computer searching for homes, looking for comps. A lot of that stuff takes place on a computer, and then they could shift in the same day to getting in the car, driving around with their clients, go looking at houses. They're on their feet all day, making phone calls. So there's a lot of different duties that a realtor has. They don't have one type of job. So, it can go from a sedentary job to a very active job. They may be doing lifting. They have to lift the signs up, to put in front of the houses. Sometimes they have to stage a house. And, there's a lot of different things involved. So depending what the realtor is selling, if it's commercial real estate or if it's residential homes, there's a lot of different duties. So it can be very complex.
Right, and a lot of traveling around in and out of the car, up and down stairs, and then often realtors nowadays show up on home inspections, and they have to get in attics and look all around the house with the home inspector, rain or shine, whatever it may be. So definitely should not be misinterpreted by a disability company as a sedentary type job, because it requires a lot of sitting, standing, walking, lifting, carrying, all of those items that you said, and it could even be argued that it's a medium to heavy duty job, because staging and things like that and setting up a home, because a lot of people think they're just going to sell their home, but if it don't look good, it's not going to sell unless you're giving it away. So, and if the realtor doesn't get in there and clean the place up and physically make it look good, it's not going to be as easy to make the sale. And obviously realtors work on commission, so they want to do everything they can to make the sale happen in the best manner possible. But the other thing, Rach, that as well as a realtor is that there's a lot of, you have to be available. So how does you got to be available for your customers. You got to be available for your buyer if you're representing a buyer. You got to be available for the seller if you're representing the seller. And people want immediate responses. So if you're a realtor and you're in a situation where you go, well, I have good days and bad days, but one day I can be completely laid up in bed. How does that realtor, able to function in their job if they can't be available basically all the time for their clients?
Well, it's very difficult because a client does expect a lot out of the realtor, and if there's a day where they are not available, they take the risk of losing the client. So there's many times where a realtor will lose business if they're not willing to work on the weekends, or they're sick, and if it's one day being sick, that's okay. But if it's going to be, 2 or 3 days a week where they're having bad days, they're going to end up losing their clients and losing deals. So that's, a problem when it comes to realtors.
And what do you do? What is a realtor going to have to provide to the disability company to show the duties of their occupation?
Well, they're going to have to provide, if it's a group policy that they have through their employer, they're going to have to show that they can't do the material substantial duties of their job as a realtor in the national economy. So what they do is they'll look at the job in the national economy, what the duties are of that job, and determine whether their medical condition prevents them from being able to do those duties. So they're probably going to have to provide a list of all the duties they do, whether or not the insurance carrier is willing to go by that list specifically, or whether they're going to check on the Department of Occupational Titles or ONET to see what those job duties are. But either way, they're going to have to show that they're limited in being able to lift heavy objects, sit for long periods at a time, sit in their car and drive. Depending what their medical condition is, they're going to have to prove that their condition prevents them from doing those.
What is a realtor really the better, instead of a realtor salesperson, you have the broker, and the broker runs the whole place, and the salespersons work underneath the broker. but what about the broker who says, look, I was an active broker. I also act like a salesperson. I go out and I sell homes and I list homes and I do everything. But I can't go out and sell. I can't really be available for all the clients. I can't do the in and out of the cars. I can't be on this 24/7 schedule. But I want to keep my brokerage and I want to have all these other salespersons under me. And I'll just do a little bit of administrative work here and there. Could that broker still be totally disabled?
It depends on the policy language. Maybe with some policies that would work, but most of the time they do require that you have an income loss. So if they're going to be requiring, if you're going to be working as the broker and not doing any sales and you haven't lost any income, it's probably not, you're probably not going to get approved. If you've lost a significant amount of income and you're only able to do the sedentary portion of your job, then yes, you may be able to get qualified under the residual portion of your policy. If you have a pure ONOC policy that looks at, you being able to do your own occupation, yeah, there might be a chance that you could just be the brokerage. You may or may not be able to get total disability on that. You may have to actually also fall under residual, but again, each policy has different policy language, so it would need to be determined once you review the policy.
Right, so it would be and we've done that before for brokers who were the kind of hands-on brokers that really also acted like a salesperson,
Right.
but then reached the point and said, look, I spent the past 25, 30 years building this brokerage, and now I just want to have these salespeople continue, underneath me, and it's basically my name, my practice, and yes, I'll still get income, but I'm not going to take on any clients. I'm just going to do some managerial things where I wasn't even doing managerial before. So it really comes down to what that broker was doing before they became disabled, and there's going to have to provide evidence of the fact of what they were doing before versus what they're claiming they're able to do now. And another thing is that even if they get past the definition, they're unfortunately, especially in the group disability policies, which are the ones that are provided to all of the employees, that if you have any income related to that occupation, regardless of what you're doing, they're going to deduct it from your monthly disability benefits. So
Right.
you could qualify under the definition side, but then you lose it, because you still have the income coming in. So,
Right.
you meet the definition of disability, but you miss the income component and you end up with nothing.
Correct.
So for these realtors, how important is medical support and documentation of that medical support in order to get a disability claim approved?
Oh, it's huge. Medical support really is the biggest, most important aspect of a disability claim, because without the medical records to support the disability and the inability to work, the insurance carriers are probably automatically going to deny. So what we recommend is before you even file an application that you contact us, and we work with you to review the medical records that already exist to determine whether they are sufficient enough to get you on claim, because oftentimes doctors don't really know how to document in the medical records. I mean, they're in the business of treating your back issue. They're not in the business of getting you approved for disability claims. So that's what we specialize in. So what we do is we'll look at the medical records. We'll say, you know what, I suggest you go treat with another type of specialist. Make sure that you're telling them everything that's going on with you. Make sure they're documenting your pain, your ability to sit and stand for long periods. All of that has to be in writing. And then we also will suggest, hey, maybe they need to send you for an MRI or some more testing so that we have stronger evidence of your disability when we file this claim. It's very important.
And another thing I was thinking about for the realtors that they got to be aware of, everything now with realtors is available online for the past
Right.
years, through realtor.com, Zillow, all these different sites, the MLS listings. So the disability companies hire real estate type experts, and they're going to look up every single listing you've had, every single sold, sale you've done. They're going to look up your whole entire social media profile. So they're going to have a good idea of the activity that you're doing as a realtor or a broker, and they're going to hire an expert or a vocational consultant who's going to say, look, based upon this number of listings, based upon this number of sales in the last 12 months, this is how much work this person was likely doing, and this is how much time they would have had to put into their duties. So a lot of realtors, they don't necessarily think that the disability company is going to do this kind of background work, but they do those kinds of things, and they, you have to beat them to the punch and present everything. And if there's more than just what you're seeing in the listings and in the sales, because Rachel, as you know from friends and past clients who are realtors, it's a people business. right? I mean, you gotta know a lot of people, and you gotta have a lot of connections, and you gotta market yourself so that someone hires you for that personal service business. And while they might see your listings and your sales and might say, well, that should only take you 20 hours a week. The rest of the time as a real estate salesperson, you're really a marketer. You got to market yourself to get these listings. And that's a whole nother skill set that a lot of people don't take into consideration, that could even be harder than the actual job of selling the property. So that's another aspect that we always present in our claims, that as a real estate salesperson, tremendous networking, marketing, travel, entertaining, dining, all of those things have to be done in order to do your job.
Exactly.
So what I suggest for any person who's a realtor or a broker and has a disability policy, give us a call. We always offer a free initial consultation, whether it's Rachel, myself, or any of our lawyers. We're able to help you anywhere in the country. The other thing you can do right away that's very helpful is go to our website, look up your disability company. When you see your company, you'll see that we have lots of information about every stage of the claim, whether it's applying, an appeal, a lawsuit, even if it's a lump sum buyout, anything related to your claim. We have tons of reviews and comments from clients that have your exact disability policy, or at least your exact disability company. We really want you as the claimant, and hopefully a future client, to be educated about what this process is and what lays ahead, so that we can help to guide you in the appropriate manner to get your benefits paid. We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which you can by clicking below. You'll get updates about regular videos we do that are super helpful. And should you need us, we'll be here for you. And we look forward to the opportunity to help you. Thank you.